When it comes to placing their faith in others, sigma INFJs are circumspect and perceptive. However, why is it that these aloof people find it so difficult to communicate with others? These 10 factors explain why a sigma INFJ finds it difficult to trust others. 10. They find it difficult to trust others because they have such high expectations for honesty. Genuine connections based on trust and integrity are highly valued by sigma INFJs, who also appreciate authenticity. They are suspicious of those who don't live up to their high expectations because they can spot discrepancies easily between words and deeds. A sigma INFJ may be hesitant to give someone their entire trust if they exhibit untrustworthy behavior or motives. They would rather spend their time evaluating someone's consistency and moral character before inviting them into their inner sanctum of trust. Because they want genuine and reliable relationships, sigma INFJs are selective about whom they lay their confidence, looking for people who share their beliefs and have high moral standards. 9. Since they could have been the victims of serious betrayals. Because major betrayals have a long-lasting effect on an individual's mental health and sense of security in relationships, sigma INFJs find it difficult to trust people. A sigma INFJ has vulnerability and dread of hurting again after being severely harmed and deceived by someone they trusted. They become more circumspect and wary of individuals they trust because of the hurt of betrayal. They start to look out for potential warning signs and are hesitant to open their doors to others out of concern that history could repeat again. Because of these prior betrayals, sigma INFJs are more cautious and picky about the people they choose to trust in their relationships. This serves as a reminder of the possible hazards associated in doing so. After major betrayals, trust must be rebuilt with persistence, patience, and a sustained display of sincere intentions. 8. Because they have maybe had previous experiences with being duped. A sigma INFJ's distrust of people is often influenced by past experiences where their trust was misplaced. They have probably suffered psychologically from these betrayal events, lost faith in the honesty of others, and found it difficult to feel safe enough to trust others in the future. Because they are so sensitive to these old scars, many INFJs are reluctant to put their faith in others. They are aware of the emotional toll and the repercussions of misguided trust. They thus learn to be watchful and perceptive in their relationships, carefully evaluating people and demanding strong proof of reliability before opening out completely. The wounds from previous betrayals serve as a continual reminder to sigma INFJs to proceed with prudence and shield oneself from more harm. 7. Since they are conscious of the strength of their feelings and the possibility of suffering harm, sigma INFJs experience emotions strongly and have a great aptitude for empathy. They understand very well the suffering and disappointment that may come from putting your faith in the wrong person. They approach trust with caution and discernment due to their heightened emotional sensitivity. They would rather spend their time getting to know someone, building trust, and then open out completely. Because they are emotionally unstable and want to shield themselves from possible harm, sigma INFJs tend to be more circumspect and choosy about who they trust. They value emotional stability and self-preservation above all else, understanding the value of putting your faith in those who have shown themselves to be reliable and deserving. 6. Because they are circumspect due to their analytical thinking. Sigma INFJs are inclined to closely observe and carefully consider the intentions, motivations, and behaviors of others. They meticulously examine and appraise people in an effort to find consistency and genuineness. They can recognize differences between words and deeds and pick up on tiny indications thanks to their analytical temperament. They thus learn to be wary of trusting others unless they have sufficient information to back up their conclusions. Sigma INFJs tend to take their time building connections based on trust and place a high importance on thoroughness and accuracy in their judgments. They want to make sure that the people they put their faith in are people who always uphold their morals and beliefs. Sigma INFJ's analytical brain serves as a safeguard, enabling them to choose trustworthy people with knowledge, leading to a more selective and circumspect approach to developing trust. 5. Because they want to build relationships of trust with people who share their beliefs. They prefer partnerships based on mutual understanding and shared ideas since they have strong personal convictions. They understand how important it is for trust to be based on a solid moral and ethical foundation. Thus, they are wary of giving trust to those who do not share their basic beliefs. They appreciate consistency and integrity in the words and deeds of others, and before they open up completely, they seek confirmation that the other person shares their ideals. By using this discernment, Sigma INFJs may build more meaningful and lasting relationships with others who share their values. By forming relationships with others who share their values, Sigma INFJs make sure that the people they trust will appreciate and comprehend their viewpoints, strengthening the bond between them and lowering the possibility of disappointment or betrayal. For, as a result of their disappointment with shallowness, when exposed to superficiality, Sigma INFJs become wary and reluctant to put their faith in people. Sigma INFJs are concerned about others having superficial talks or not interacting deeply with one another. They are looking for real relationships where they can be themselves, where their ideas and feelings are valued and accepted. They become more careful about who they trust, and their cautious disposition is reinforced when they meet superficiality and are disappointed. They place more value on quality than quantity, choosing to put their faith in those who truly want to connect with them and are open to having more in-depth discussions and experiences. 3. Because they are well-versed in the complexities of people. Because of their keen awareness of underlying dynamics and subtle indications, Sigma INFJs are able to unravel the complexity of the people they contact with. Because of their profound insight, they are selective and wary of whoever they put their faith. They are aware that others may act inconsistently, have contradictory objectives, or have hidden goals. Because of this understanding, Sigma INFJs take their time evaluating people and accumulating sufficient proof to build rapport. Their awareness of the hazards associated with extending confidence is heightened by their comprehension of human complexity, which makes them concerned about being tricked or misled. Sigma INFJs guard against deception and betrayal by being cautious and only putting their faith in those who exhibit consistency, honesty, and a sincere connection with their ideals. 2. As a result of their emphasis on their mental health, Sigma INFJs cherish their inner stability and serenity, and are wary of people or circumstances that can jeopardize their emotional health. They are cautious and discriminating in who they trust because of their self-preservation mentality. Before they provide trust, they take the time to get to know someone and how they could affect their emotional condition. Sigma INFJs are careful about making connections that might potentially cause emotional turbulence or instability, and instead value relationships that provide them joy, satisfaction, and emotional support. They protect their mental health and make sure that their faith is in those who have consistently shown them kindness, consideration, and empathy by being watchful and discriminating. 1. Because there have been situations in which losing autonomy resulted from trusting others. Individualism and a strong desire to be in charge of one's own life characterize Sigma INFJs. It instills a strong sense of caution when they have encountered circumstances when trusting others led to a loss of autonomy or a feeling of control. They grow wary of giving too much trust because they worry about losing their autonomy or having other people decide for them. Because they like to be in charge and remain independent, Sigma INFJs must exercise caution while deciding who to trust. Before opening out completely, they carefully evaluate each person and the possible influence on their liberty. By being cautious, they safeguard their identity and make sure that others they may trust uphold their independence and respect for themselves. How careful are you while offering trust as a Sigma INFJ? Thus, you lose some of your feeling of independence when you trust other people. Because of their analytical temperament, fear of vulnerability, and prior failures, Sigma INFJs tend to be cautious when it comes to trust. Therefore, developing trust with the Sigma INFJ calls for constant sincerity, dependability, and comprehension. Do you, however, occasionally lower your expectations for other people as a Sigma INFJ? Do you compromise your boundaries and trust concerns in order to give a loved one another chance?